right, welcome to the fourth and final review of the evening. Up this time is Princess Farmer. So, this is a curious mix, if nothing else, as it is a fusion of visual novel and match 3 puzzle game. And I suppose the specific type of match 3 puzzle game is in the style of Puzzle League, as it being based around vegetables. They come up from the ground, so the things generate from the ground up, bottom up, like Puzzle League. Though I will state for the record that this game isn't nearly as good as Puzzle League, but what is? Now, that's not a knock against this game. It's more, Puzzle League is considered by some to be the ultimate, falling blocks puzzle game, even though it's not falling blocks, but that's an aside.
Falling blocks.
Yeah. But yeah, you are a bunny who is a farmer, and until Gaia, the spirit of the land, up and decides, because you picked up a fancy lipstick pack, that you will be the Princess Farmer. I'm not exactly sure what makes her royalty, other than that's just a trope of this particular genre. Because Sailor Moon did it.
I was gonna say. I mean, Sailor Moon is only a princess in theory, and also she's not really much of a sailor, although she does wear the uniform that's kind of like that.
Well, that's more because that's what the school uniforms are based off of.
Right.
More than anything else. Here, this isn't really following that. It's got nothing to do with nautical theming of any kind. And it is upfront about that. I suppose it's more fitting in the idea of royalty when I think about it, or at least, what the British interpretation of that is, i.e. the divine right of kings. And I suppose here it has more merit because, the deity is interacting with you.
Yeah, divine right of kings has a little bit more sticking power when you've met them personally.
Yes, and is visible to everyone. But anyway, so the whole hook of being a magical girl princess farmer is it basically gives you super strength in order to pluck the vegetables out of the ground with your bare hands. And more importantly, be able to pluck them back down into the ground when needed. And yes, this does get lampshaded, and why are you putting harvested vegetables back into the ground? Well, the answer is so you can match up and match 3 vegetables. And the matching is done in both vertical, horizontal, and even diagonal constructs.
To paraphrase Pratchett, any fool who's strong enough can pull something out of the ground. It's shoving it back into the ground that's harder.
Right. That's what magical girl powers are for in this particular case. And as far as the actual match 3 puzzle gameplay, it's all right, if I'm being honest. At least the base gameplay, it suffers a bit from, and a lot of match 3 puzzle games suffer from this. It does a lot of comboing on its own. That is to say, you just do some random plucking, and you're liable to get a 10-score combo just of what comes up generated. And believe me, Princess Farmer is far from the only game I've ever encountered this particular phenomenon. Hell, the Bejeweled games themselves have had this. but you can still be strategic about things, and sometimes you will need to be, especially since things get conditional depending on the stage. That is to say, you are tasked with only vertical matches, maybe diagonal. You are required to get a specific vegetable. Like a cow wants a carrot, so you got to get a carrot or 3 carrot matches or something like that. Sometimes you have to get a certain point amount. Sometimes you will have to get a certain amount of combos, like get 25 combos. And sometimes there will be impediments, like sometimes a vegetable will be locked off due to mystical forces. Sometimes there will be what is called the gloom cloud, which will ruin all the surface vegetables. And sometimes you will have a magical duel with an opponent. Sometimes you will have a helper with you. Sometimes, very rarely, there will be a helper on the opposing force. I think that really only happened a few times. And in keeping with Whitethorn's game's ultra casual style, victory isn't really even necessary to progress with the game. Like, even if you definitively lose a round or a set, you will still advance. You won't get any reward for that, outside of like the bare minimum. The real challenge in this game is, if anything, getting full marks, the 3 stars, because this game is rather interested in you playing through the story and meeting all of the characters and stuff like that. Also worth noting is the play style. There are 3 of them. There is the Action Bunny, where it's a timed affair. That's if you're quick. There's the Puzzle Bunny, which is untimed, so you can plot things out to your heart's content. And there's Balance Bunny, which is a mixture of the 2. I chose Action Bunny because, honestly, given the relative ease of the game, it didn't really matter. And as far as incentive for doing well in the game, that is linked to unlockable rewards in the shop. There are 3 types of rewards. There's outfits, which is pretty self-explanatory. There's the hair dyes, HARE dyes, which change the color of your Princess Farmer, and sparkles, which add sparkles to the mix. Because, once again, magical girl tropes. And they're all cosmetic, so you don't have to worry about buffs or anything of that nature.
You mean the red ones don't go faster?
Nope. Now, I know in some games that can be the case, but not here. Also worth noting, you can play the entire affair in co-op, optional co-op. I believe it's local only right now. It's shared split screen co-op. Not even a remote play together on Steam at the very least. As far as the visual novel elements, they are reaction based. That is to say, Princess Farmer has a range of options, in usually 3, to react to something, and that will change the dynamics of the relationship with a given character. And the goal you're looking for is usually BFF, best friends forever, though knowing this game, that probably actually means bunny friends forever. Because Everything is rabbit puns here.
Bunny farmers forever?
Possibly. I mean, though they probably actually do mean best friends forever. And if you do that, you get a reward from that character. I don't know if it's possible to actually romance any of the other characters. I will say there's a lot of Yuri blushing here. But could not tell you if there, if there's any romantical options, or if that's something that might get added later down the line or anything like that. And in terms of the episode and chapter breakdowns, actually some of the most inventive stuff in the as far as the presentation, because this is not just framing itself as a magical girl affair, it's framing itself as if it were an actual magical girl show from the 90s. I say specifically from the 90s because every episode is its own VHS tape.
That's kind of cute, as long as they don't have too many Sailor Says segments.
Thankfully, that has not been included here. And yeah, there are 9 episodes each lasting between 20 minutes to an hour. The game probably take you about 6 or 7 hours to get through, at least in terms of the Action Bunny segment. And you will be able to do like a quick match as you unlock stuff. And yeah, again, I'd say this is really good. Not amazing. Or once again, it's I think it's got a little too much of the random chaos theory puzzle solving thing going on here in terms of actual critiques. And like if you're looking for a pure puzzle based affair, there's better honestly there's probably better hybrid affairs. Like I wouldn't put this above Puzzle Quest, but like I said, if nothing else, this is a unique combination of genres and aesthetics and bunnies. I can definitely say there's no other game like it on the market currently. So it's got that going for it. In terms of pricing, this game will set you back $15, which is a bit on the high side for a match 3 puzzle game these days. But, I think you're buying this more for the lesbian bunny farmer princesses and such than you are for the Bejeweled styled puzzle gameplay.
Unless you're really into Bejeweled style puzzle gameplay, in which case, good for you.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the case, then just stick with like Bejeweled 3. Anyway, so in terms of the music, it's what you would expect. Very cheery chiptune styles, because this game is going for a non-specific 16-bit retro style. Like, I couldn't place these graphics to anything specifically to the Genesis or the PC Engine. I'd say the closest would be the Super NES. But nothing here really screams out Super NES graphics to me. Which has a specific style of its own. Anyway, so any other questions, comments, or concerns on Princess Farmer?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So yes, that'll about do it for not just Princess Farmer, but the review session. So the week ahead, let's see. We do have a new installment of MSP coming on Wednesday. First Inside the Studios episode for the week, because Mac was a little busy making sure his life doesn't collapse again. Like, sadly, this happens way too often. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, coming to Fragments on Silicon on Wednesday, April 6th, we will be welcoming Matthew Carlin of Alpha Zoo Inc. They are the creator of educational games. That's a fair rarity for this program. Not unprecedented, but we don't get a lot of educational game makers here. And we do have a Friday show this week. On Friday, April 8th, we'll be welcoming Marvin Kruger of MK Games. They do a lot of really interesting sound games and the like. And they both confirmed, so everything's locked in there. So until Wednesday, I shall wish you good gaming.